Okay, I go by the name of Suthu Mandlovu. So I'm gonna be doing a little piece called "I Think I Like You." So if you think you have a little crush out there, maybe this poem is yours. Da-da-dum, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. I think I like you. I do. I think I like you, but I refuse to be confused as I wait at the gate of empty promises, in hopes that those heart heating, steamy running, fingers piercing, sweet nonsense whispering in your ears. Right there, holding me right there, soothing me and amplifying the knocks of my heartbeat, that heartbeat that dances in your drumbeat won't end in tears for years. Counting stolen kisses with you while you continually suck out happy energies from me to pitch patch broken pieces of your current and chosen relationship. But I think I like you. I do, but I do not want to wait while you find days and ways to squeeze me in on days of your sexually cold days. But I think I'm getting soft for you. But unfool man, unfool, I do not want to hike on mountains or falling in love on empty spaces. To later hike back on mountains of disappointment, tiptoeing on gravel roads of setbacks, 5 steps back of working double with the emotional process and mental progress you got me in. Waste your time. But I think I like you. I do. But I don't want to go on solo dates of unbecoming all that you have made me feel. Going in an emotional and spiritual divorce with you by myself. But I think I like you though.
And what a beautiful,
Thank you so much.
gracious performance.
Thank you.
So I think I need to answer that thinking.
Yeah.
So I want,
Yeah, consider if you think you
yeah,
like someone. Ne?
then therefore I need to peep all the anecdotes. If I think I like this person, do I like him? Hi, greetings everyone.
Say hi.
Motlatsi Motseki here, the living legend. Welcome to Plugged Souls podcast, episode 2. And today we have a phenomenal guest by the name of Suthu Mandlovu. She's a prolific writer, both spoken and music writing. She's a radio personality, a notable singer, and she has this dynamic theatrical things that she does whenever she performs, which exude this beautiful trait through her work. And I'm very honored today so that our groundbreaking guest is such an exceptional one by the name of Suthu Mandlovu. Such a gemstone, man. Such a gemstone.
Oh, the bio is so thick. Hi,
Yeah.
hello. Thank you so much, guys, for having me today. It's an
Yeah.
honor to be here.
Yeah.
And also be archived in your history. I mean, this is the second episode,
Second
right? And
episode,
being
yeah.
part of that, it's really an honor.
It's really an
Yeah,
honor.
thank you.
Yeah. With what I've just described, how
Yeah.
would you describe yourself as?
Whew. Yo, that's quite a it's quite a complex question because I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where to start.
Mm.
Well, Suthu Mandlovu is a multi-dimensional woman.
Mm.
I am a poet, as you said. I'm a musician. I'm a writer. That's where I find my solace in writing.
Yeah.
I'm also a radio personality. Now venting into film and television.
Mm.
So you know what? In a nutshell, I'm an artist. Yeah,
Thank you very
I'm an
much.
artist.
Because that's what I wanted to talk about. Because last time I said art, it's it's given,
Yeah.
and everyone is an artist. And we become an artist, there's a professional when you exercise those gifts that you
Mm.
have, because now you are able to walk through whatever the channel
Yeah.
that you are exempt with.
Mm.
So your journey into this wholesome artistry, when did it start? When did the
Um.
big bug bite?
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think of my answer now. I think the right question is when did I discover that I'm an artist?
Yeah.
Because you're all born
Yeah,
artists.
we're all born
We're all
artists,
born. It's
definitely.
just a case of you discovering that. Obviously, you're gonna find out that you can sing because
Yeah,
everybody sings.
yeah,
Be it your suck or you don't, you find out. So, I discovered my art when I was in high school. I think this is like I'm gonna reveal my age, but this is around 2004, 2003,
yeah.
around there when I was in high school. There was a theatrical group called Siakutaza, we did theater and drama.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I was given a monologue to
Hmm.
to become a poet. So while I was performing poetry, that is
Mm.
when I discovered that hello,
Hi.
hello.
Ah, yeah,
I think I like what I'm doing.
yeah,
I think I'm happy with what I'm doing.
yeah.
So that's how I discovered poetry. And then as I was exercising that muscle,
Mm.
that's when I found traits of all these other pieces
Yeah.
that I like. So yeah, it's been a journey since then, since 2003.
So wasn't it difficult because I don't know if it's a stereotype, but our parents when say, you know what, I'm gonna venture into artistry.
Yeah.
Was it a difficult decision, or how
Um.
did you break that conversation with your parents or whoever
Oh, you
you
know what?
begat?
With me, Shem,
Yeah,
fortunately, I was very lucky
yeah,
to have
great.
been born and raised by parents who are very supportive of what
Yeah,
the child decides to do.
yeah,
With my late parents, my mom and my
yeah,
dad was very supportive. Undlo, Boya Benyat.
yeah.
He was very supportive. I remember at times when we had rehearsals in high
Mm-hmm.
school, he would go inside because we'd even have rehearsals in my house, right at the
Wow.
back. So Udada would go there and be like, "Yo, you guys, what you," he had a Zulu accent, so you
Yeah,
guys must take what you're doing seriously.
yeah,
So it wasn't really difficult for me having to say to them, "This is what I love," because they've always supported what
yeah,
I'm doing.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the burden becomes it doesn't. It's not even a burden.
yeah,
Yeah, about because
yeah.
uh okay. Uh, Rest in peace to those gods, man.
Tamako,
Wow. Yeah.
tamako.
I don't have my parents as well. I don't think so.
Condolences to you
Yeah.
too.
So and my parents are also supportive for whatever I do.
Ne?
They're just okay. All right. So how do we move here from this? What can we assist you with?
Mm,
Okay.
mm,
Which network do you use? Which network do you need? All right. Let's create a social system so that
mm.
because having a understanding parents is golden.
It is.
It is a very golden. It's unfortunate that most of the people, I mean us, as in like society, when they don't have that support, they resort to something that they don't like.
Mm,
Someone will study not to bash alone not teacher, but she know for I love the
mm,
dancing
mm,
man.
mm.
After 40 years of being deprived and everything, now
Dude,
he's traumatized. He's
dude.
not like man.
I know a friend of mine who studied psychology. I remember he said, "Brah, I'm so tired of listening to people's stories because I don't want to do that." And mind you, he studied psychology.
Yeah,
So it's got constraining and limiting, having to live a life that's a lie, because it's living a lie when you're not doing
that's
what
a
you love.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
living a lie.
That's living a lie.
Yeah.
So, based on your work that I've observed in it, you
Mm,
pride your work mostly based on women.
yes.
Is that
Partly
intentional
yes.
and why?
Um. Okay. For obvious reasons, I'm a
Yeah.
woman. So most stories that would better resonate with me would be stories that I am familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm slightly alien, not slightly, I mean largely alien to how men are.
Mm-hmm.
But having been born and raised by a man who was fully hands on in my life,
Mm-hmm.
there are parts of my writing that I embrace that.
Mm.
So most of my pieces are about women. It's actually not intentional. It's just
Yeah.
inspiration. I don't think it's
Yeah.
intentional. There's actually, I don't think I choose. But
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna write about women.
Yeah.
Don't. It's just a case of maybe I was with my friends, or maybe
Yeah.
there's this other lady that I saw, and I feel, let me talk about that. So it's a case of inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually something I must tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because with regards to ashes, which
yeah.
seem to be like the signature bomb.
Dude,
Yay!
dude,
I saw,
it's
but
the
I was
masterpiece.
it's a masterpiece. Like I feel like people do request it all the time. Or am
Yeah.
I wrong? Babo?
Mm,
And there you kind of covers like the detriments of like romantic relationships that
mm,
people suffers through it.
mm.
And what I've learned and observed of heard of that piece is like be careful. Be
Yeah.
just like a warning sign. Be careful. Be
Mm.
careful. So, what would be your ultimate advice on just outside the poetry, just outside of that poem? What will be your ultimate advice for those romantic relationships?
So okay, just
Or you
to
can infuse the poetry as well.
ne, so just to
Because
take you in a bit with ashes to ashes. So
yeah,
ashes to ashes is not necessarily talking about the woman.
yeah, definitely.
Um, there I am speaking on behalf of the child who is born and raised
Mm,
in a domestic violent relationship.
yeah,
That's what ashes to ashes is about.
yeah,
So it's more like saying, because my mom decided it was okay, thank God it's not my mom, but it's just inspiration outside
yeah,
my life. So what I am saying there is that For a woman who's still in that relationship, as much as you're saying, I'm going to stay here for the kids, you're actually compromising your kids. And for a father who's doing that, you're actually raising children who are going to be broken adults. In a later stage, you would see this adult still dealing with childhood trauma. So if I were to give advice to anybody who is in that situation, I would say choose you, man.
Yeah,
Choose you, man. Choose love, man. Like
yeah,
choose peace.
yeah,
Be very selfish of your peace. Be it you're a man, because well, gender-based violence is not only about women, it's about
yeah,
everybody. You know
definitely,
what I mean?
definitely.
So hence I'm saying just choose you.
Yeah,
Be it if you're not treated right as a man or as a woman, just choose you. Leave that and find peace. There's a lot that you can discover and be happy about outside that.
definitely. I'm reading a book, ne?
Yeah.
It's about uh, immature adult parents.
Interesting.
So, in a nutshell, he kind of discovers the trauma that you didn't deal with as a child.
Mm.
Yabo. So
Mm.
let's just make an example that there is, let's say, this abusive husband,
Mm.
ne? In this case, and he has this certain, he grew up the certain way. There
Mm.
are certain maybe laws or rules he had to follow. There are certain detriments that like tell him for
Mm. Mm.
intentionally. So sometimes when you grow up not dealing with that trauma, as you grow, because you didn't really give yourself time
Mm. Mm.
to mature perfectly, or rather safe way, those things they gonna
Mm.
go and come up
Mm.
as you
Mm.
grow.
Mm.
And when they exert themselves like that, sometimes you are not aware of those things.
Mm.
You are not aware of those traits until you get to uh, confront your inner child. So the inner child that is being abused, consciously or unconsciously,
Mm.
is one of the contributing factor to that.
It is.
Mabon. So because what we need to do is we need to deal with the roots, because cutting the branch of the tree doesn't say the tree won't grow. But
Mm.
if we are able to find a root source, we will be able to excavate a lot of
Motlatsi,
things.
if I were to, because I know we all have triggers, ne?
Yeah,
And triggers are embedded by our roots and
yeah,
how we're raised. This is how I self heal.
yeah.
Maybe it's something that someone might find useful for them,
Hmm.
but this is what I do. So often when I get triggered, I isolate
Mm.
for like a day or two. Then I would ask myself, why are you feeling like that?
Yeah,
Then when I discover why am I feeling like that, then I would notice, oh, maybe this is something that happened when I was a child. Then what I would do, then I would try and speak to myself as the second person.
yeah,
That girl, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. I apologize that you experienced that.
mm.
Heal now, and it's okay now. And I would embrace me as if I'm my mom.
Wow.
See, that
Mm.
is making me a better version every day. So maybe someone else might find that useful, but it really works for me.
Yeah,
So having not to avoid
yeah,
or maybe deny, because whatever you deny declares so.
yeah.
Whenever you deny the issue, it actually escalates.
Yeah, it actually
Yeah.
escalates. It actually escalates. Yeah, yeah, it's really deep in yana. But there's this, but which is necessary,
Yeah.
because then now I'm kind of trying to find a rhythm,
Mm.
because like Yabana Greyman, if this relationship is toxic, get off it,
Yeah.
because now we have to embrace yourself, self love. I see
Mm.
people hashtagging self love just because they take themselves as a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But if they deny themselves that
Mm.
introspective space to
Mm.
really deal with themselves, they're
Mm.
not gonna be able to find the self love. But they attach self love with whatever that socially trendy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
But that's a good advice, man. I hope our listeners and our watchers, I took that gem. I'm gonna use it.
Thank you.
I'm definitely going to apply it to
Ne?
my well-being, and I'm gonna use it in my life. Thanks for that gem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I shed a tear. I shed a tear when I was listening to Nontsiki.
Really? Oh, that's cute. That is so
Yo,
cute.
wow, wow. So this is what I figured.
Mm.
I get to uqala uthi uyalila.
Mm-mm. You did listen to Olunzik. You did.
Wabona?
Mm.
Ngiyindibethwa imbeko
Mm-mm.
as it goes. Ebere wena now towards the end you personify yourself as Nontsiki Ndiyalila.
Yes. Yes.
So what I Like, give me the whole context of that on that beautiful work.
Yo, so Unontiki is a beautiful song written by Utatu Sipiwo Solomon. If you can see, he's a guitarist. I
Yeah.
often play with him.
Yeah.
Unontiki is his song. Yeah,
Wow.
but it's his song. So, obvious, me being Mege, going with the dead, he said, no,
Mm.
Danam, you can go in, do your thing in there. We then infused Unontiki with Ashes to Ashes, my poem.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
where
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
came up
yeah,
with Ulenduk, Ashes to
yeah.
Ashes. So, this is the storyline with Unontiki. Remember me saying that Ashes to Ashes is it's the baby
Mm.
talking about the parents.
Mm.
And then in the song, it's the mother,
Mm.
it's the daughter that are
Mm.
speaking. So the
Wow.
part where Etin Dibetwa Imeko,
Mm.
directly translated, I'm in this because of this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dalila, that's the mother crying.
Gali Lamna.
I should give you that song. I should feature.
Hey. Yeah.
So that's basically it about
Mm.
Tunonziki.
Mm.
The rendition is elder song, so we infused it, and yeah. Otherwise, I think for one to understand it, you must actually go to my TikTok. Then you would hear it. Because
Yeah.
really, I can't explain it in words. There's just
Yeah.
something that's different when we sing it and when I'm
Exactly.
trying to explain it. Yeah.
Because with that particular performance, ne,
Mm.
you know they say poem is something that you write when you're on stage you recite it.
Yes.
That's become a poet.
Mm-mm.
Now on that song or that performance is poetry itself.
True.
It's poetry itself. You don't know what's happening there. You can't like get it. But there's this mystical energy that comes with that body, man.
Mm.
Like, all right, now I'm not hearing a poem. I'm not listening to poetry. I'm
Mm.
actually evolving
Mm.
spiritual.
Thank you for that.
Man,
Thank you for that.
that's a masterpiece, man.
Paper served.
Yeesh. Well,
Thank you
like
for
you
that.
say, as a writer, sometimes we are only given this task to write
Mm.
because we have this myself speaking for myself.
Mm.
I believe there's this entity that takes over.
True.
It's not me that takes over.
True.
It's kind of like echoing everything. So whenever I get to, even when I get to stage, I shiver. I want to leave. I don't want to be there
Do you
before I
ever
get to
get?
stage.
Do you ever get with me after I performed?
Mm,
I don't want anything. I just want to go home.
same here.
Ne?
Same here. What do you think is that, man? Because
I,
I've been baffled a lot, and I've been asked this question
I don't
numerous
want
times.
anything. I just want to go home. I want to
Yeah,
go home and sleep.
yeah,
I think the reason, if I were to try and explain it, I think the reason for that is because art is spiritual.
too much.
It's spiritual. They always say a poet dies a million times.
Yeah,
Just imagine a woman being sexually assaulted.
yeah,
Then every day or whenever you recite, you're still retelling that story. You have to wear those shoes, be
yeah,
in that character.
yeah.
And when you write about a story, you have to live that
The
character and
story.
be in that space.
Mm,
I remember, I'm not sure if you know her, she's also a poet, Ulelet, Poetic Soul. We had a
mm-hmm.
piece together. She directed Ashes to Ashes.
Okay.
So when we were rehearsing Ashes
Mm-hmm.
to Ashes, she said, Mandlovu, you need to understand that you are becoming a voice of every woman that can't speak for themselves. So you can't treat the poem on a surface because
Yeah.
you are representing. So now, every time we are performing and reciting it,
Mm,
you are envisioning these women who are in these
mm,
situations or these men that are in these situations.
mm.
So just imagine that takes a toll.
Too much.
It takes a toll for anybody. So obviously you're gonna get spiritually, physically, and emotionally exhausted
Yeah.
after that. But the nice thing about it is that as much as it takes that, but there's an essence of satisfaction after
Yeah.
you have done what you have been called to do. You know what I mean?
I know,
There's an
definitely.
essence of, yeah, man, the grand,
Yeah, mission complete.
be able.
Yeah.
Mm,
And speaking of that, because getting on stage, bruh, is a task.
it is.
It is a task.
It is.
And I always tell people like, bruh, if the stage doesn't scare you anymore, you don't take it that serious.
Mm-mm.
No?
In fact, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I got
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So how do you deal with that nervousness before the first word?
I don't know if I'm wrong. Maybe you might agree with me on this one.
Uh,
Most artists are shy people. Hey, okay, guys, I might come
yeah,
across as
yeah,
bubbly and that, but we
yeah,
are shy for days. It's never usual to go on stage.
stage.
It's never usual.
Yeah.
You get there, different characters, different people. You don't have to think I'm gonna boo you or what.
Mm.
But you get there and you're like, okay, this is me now talking to me when I'm gonna go on stage.
Mhm.
So, girl, I'm doing this for me.
Mm.
I'm getting on that stage to enjoy what I love to
Mm.
do. Then people will suck off from that energy.
Mm.
Yeah, but
Mm.
So I think that is what encourages me when I go on stage. It's
Mm.
just telling me that, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get on that stage, get that guitar, and sing my lungs out for me.
Yeah.
So however they resonate,
Yeah.
they will take from. They'll be
Take
in
from.
sync with
Yeah.
what I feel now when I'm on
Exactly.
stage. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And that I think that's the whole purpose of being on stage. It's not for okay. It's for your own comfort, but at the same time, that comfort. I always advise people: if you don't love a poem, you will never love yourself.
Yeah.
Yabo?
If you don't love a poem, you never love yourself.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like you say, yeah, now you wrote non-tiki.
Yeah.
Non-tiki is like getting those character things, getting those that personality back
Okay, I
into the
hear you.
surface.
I
Now
hear
you
you.
have to fall in love with what you're
Yeah, I
gonna
hear
do
you.
here.
I hear you.
But if it's like and I know I've performed this many times, man, then therefore you take it for granted.
Can I ask as well?
Yeah, you can do that.
Ne?
You're more than welcome.
I wanted to ask, is there a limit in performing one poem?
No.
Why is that?
Yeah. I did some opera at some point.
Ne?
Yeah. So what we sing in opera is something that has been written ages ago. And we keep on
True.
retelling that
That is
story
so
each
true.
and every time, each and every time. And if you listen to the same song or the same rendition, it's different all the time
That is
because
true.
now we
Okay.
come up with a different interpretation.
Mm-mm.
Why? Okay, when as a person, it might bore you because there are certain people like, yeah, man, I hear PCL like, about
Mm-mm.
it bores you. But one thing that I've realized is that the potent, the message of that particular poem never dies.
That's true.
So that is
Okay.
why. Yeah,
No,
for your own
you
self, and
answered.
as a creative, it bores you like, Babo,
It's been a
it's
while.
been a while. I've been reciting
Yeah.
this for 10 years,
Yeah.
but you don't know for this very thing that you wrote 10 years, the new audience, you're gonna feel like, oh man,
Mm,
I was about to commit suicide, and this
true.
particular piece speaks about
True.
me. How did you know that I was going
True.
through that?
And besides, even the Bible,
Yeah, the Bible,
I mean,
it's
they would repeat
prophetic.
the same verse for years.
Oh, the Bible has been here for over 2,000 years.
Exactly.
And even to this day, we still don't understand it.
You don't?
We don't understand it
Okay.
because I don't
Story
want to
for
know that.
another day.
Yeah, that's true of another because people apply it in the different
That's true.
forms
That's
of
true.
their own
That's true.
interpretation.
That's true.
So we can speak about the same verse. We're gonna interpret it as differently. Well, we're gonna
Mm,
interpret it differently. So we're trying to understand actually what is happening in this
yeah.
particular phrase. So a poem never dies. Like you say, a poet dies a million times, but a poem never dies.
That's true.
So I
Okay, I
hope
like
that
that. I'm taking that.
I
I like
hope
that.
that kind of answers your questions.
Yeah.
Speaking of dying, there's this chant Senzenina. You speak, it's about June 16,
Yes.
1976.
Mm,
Wow. So now I'm going to get into segue to something that we are here for.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, do you think that we commemorate or do we celebrate that day enough?
Um,
Secondly, historically, this was called Soweto Uprising.
yeah.
So are we depriving the Soweto uprising to try to accommodate everyone for changing that significant day's name?
Um, now I need to think about this one. Okay, firstly, we said celebrate.
Do we celebrate or do
We
we
can never
commemorate?
celebrate
Yeah,
Soweto uprising
yeah,
or whatever happened in June 16, 1976.
yeah,
People died.
yeah.
So it can never be a celebration. More granting that the youth then,
Mm,
they fought, obviously, we can say it's education and
mm,
the language and Africans and that, but it's even deeper than that. The
yes,
system
yeah,
underneath, there's colonization underneath that.
mm,
Then with my poem now, June 16, 1976,
mm-hmm,
um, I started from the Soweto uprising,
mm-hmm,
a little bit from there.
mm-hmm,
And then as I go down,
yeah,
I take into how colonized we still are,
mm,
how the education system is still colonized, even this DNA. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Um, I'm not sure if maybe you've worked in corporate. Most people have
yeah,
worked in corporate. Ne? You would say, Ubana, uzongena emsebenzini, get hired. You've got your degree, maybe
mm,
in engineering. Then there's this white guy, ono grade 10.
mm-hmm,
Ozongena emsebenzini, and then you're gonna train that guy, and then that guy's gonna get better money than you.
yeah.
And it's not because of your less whatsoever, it's because of your skin.
That's a skin color,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
And
So
even graduate to becoming your manager.
exactly. Or maybe you go to school for like 5 years and they tell you, you must have experience. Where are you gonna get this? You're
Hmm.
fresh from school. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? So somewhere, somehow in the education system, it's
Hmm.
we're still suppressed.
This is
We're
surprising.
still oppressed as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my take on
Yeah.
Soweto uprising.
Yeah. So, do you think we do have enough discussion about this geopolitics that you train a white guy he has a grade 10, now he becomes a manager and whatsoever? Are we having that dialogue as much as we should?
Well, I guess we're not having enough.
Yeah.
No, I think it's because it's a very uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
More considering it's I'm comfortable to talk about it because I'm
Yeah.
not working for a corporate company.
Yeah.
Granted, I was working for a corporate company.
Yeah.
Maybe I was gonna be constrained to talk because I was gonna think, oh, what is my boss gonna say
Yeah.
if he hears me talking like this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because people actually look into social media nowadays.
Yeah,
So you
definitely.
don't want to take your bread away at the same
Yeah.
time. But it doesn't take off from the reality.
See.
It
Yeah.
doesn't. Because we still have plenty of our brothers and sisters who are still dealing with the same thing.
Yeah.
Same with Ubantu Bigo. If maybe you read his book that I wrote what I
Ah,
like,
yeah, I don't like it.
he presses so much on, mental, when you feel inferior.
Mm.
That's what colonization did to us as black people.
Yeah.
Looking down on ourselves, looking down on our gifts, looking down on whatever we do. You know what I mean? And in so much that if yo guys, I work for corporate.
Hmm.
I would see an educated folk that was black, but you would see how they behave around white people. It's like they're not
They,
educated at all
yeah.
because now it's here.
Yeah, they scattered.
They're not
Yeah.
liberated
Yeah,
mentally.
definitely.
So yeah, that's where that poem came from.
Yeah. Liberate yourself from mental slavery.
Yes.
None but
None but ourselves
ourselves
can
can free
feel our
our
mind.
mind.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
tried. We
man.
tried.
So, have you written a poem in honor of Charlotte Motlatsi, the African woman?
Yeah.
Which, yeah, was it published on the 18th of October?
Oh, so
Via what is this? Belfast International Arts Festival.
okay.
Yeah,
So the poem itself, it's celebrating African women.
yeah,
Mama Klek is also there.
yeah.
I mean, shout out to Mama Klek.
Ah,
Australia sihle phila ngona phakathi. Shout
yeah,
out to Winnie Madikizela Mandela.
yeah,
Beautiful spirit. Shout out to my mom, Nomilile Ndlovu.
yeah.
Beautiful spirit. So the reason why I put in Umama Mpayana,
Mm,
it's because there's so many women, Mama Bahlale standing,
yeah.
who work so damn hard but they have educated children.
Mm,
Khona mama abasebenze balungwini.
mm,
They work damn hard for their children. Those are heroes.
definitely.
So the poem is African Woman,
Yeah.
but Mamu Charlotte Maxeke is also part of the poem.
Football.
So how it got linked by Dr. Andilem Africa. So
Yeah.
he wrote a piece. I'll take
Hmm.
you back to Belfast now,
Yeah.
what the festival is about.
Yeah.
So Dr. Andilem Africa, he quoted my poem in a piece. He saw a monument in, I don't know if it's a tombstone or a monument to Mama Charlotte, but it's vandalized, man. It doesn't look right. It's not celebrated, man.
Yes.
And having to think of the rich history that
Definitely.
would carry so many women.
Hmm.
Kumam Charlotte, I mean, she doesn't deserve that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So he quoted the poem Gengogu and then also infused the Belfast International poetry. So with Belfast, taking you through to that.
Yeah.
With Belfast Arts Festival, it we was a competition.
Okay.
So obvious, you send the VN,
Mm.
I'm interested, and then you write your poem, then you send it. So I think there were like 140 poets in South Africa.
Wow.
Abafake poems zabo phayana to be selected. So I was one of the fortunate and lucky poems. Shout out to myself.
Ah.
Hello. So my piece got
Nominated.
got
Selected.
nominated partner, and we also got the opportunity to be part of that. So the 18 AUK in Ireland,
Mm.
they were celebrating African writers.
Yeah.
So the five of us, I know it's me, but Matot and Lagos. Oh, I've forgotten the three of us. I'm so sorry. There's
Shout
five
out
of
to
us.
them. Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
them.
them. Yo,
Yeah.
there's five
Putting
of
the
us
work.
up South Africa. Ne? We got there, and then we were supposed to go to the island, but yeah, you know the stories between us and culture and MEC, and then don't do,
Yeah.
and the finances,
They
and then
fight
don't do,
us.
and then don't do, and all of that saga. So we didn't go, but yeah, anyway, we're still celebrating it anyway.
Mm.
So on the 18th of October, they were celebrating our poem. So they've got a jukebox thing there.
Mhm.
It's got our names outside. So what you
Wow.
do, you just press on that, then you hear me reciting the VN that I sent, and our poems are going to be
Mm.
archived in Ireland.
Wow.
They're also going to be archived in Paris. So listen, It's really a big thing. It's validating for me as a writer.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's affirming you that what you're doing, you're doing the right thing.
yeah,
You're following your purpose.
yeah.
Yeah.
How you changing the landscape? Yeah,
Mm-mm.
because I saw that,
Mm-mm.
but I just saw names. I wasn't aware that when you played like a jukebox.
Mm-mm. It's a jukebox.
Yeah, it's a jukebox.
Mm-mm.
So with regards to that, because now I want to tackle the art space and its healthiness.
Yeah.
So since well you are part of that archive, is there like royalties that we're gonna get from your
Yeah, we
work?
did get some pounds anyana because we won.
Yeah,
Yeah, there were some pounds
yeah,
obvious. I mean we
yeah,
won.
yeah.
Mwah.
Some good package.
Malanyana at the end there.
Yeah, yeah, that's great to see. Because now I think now poetry is becoming more healthier because it's getting into like industry format. Because
Yes.
people now it's come like you can be a professional poet. Then it's like people will call you just hey man, one nyana hela, man,
Mm-mm,
yabo.
mm-mm,
So
mm-mm,
how do you protect yourself from nyana hela? Or else you might find yourself on the same stage with a popular artist
mm,
doing the same thing.
mm.
Then you get why now you don't get paid by that particular person. Let's say, hey, let's not name names.
Yeah.
But with that organization, they're like, hey, man, we know you're like a global star, man, local
Mm.
star, man. We bring this wherever, we bring this wherever, we're creating a festival. Like, I want you doing it, we do you, I want
Mm.
you doing it for
You
your
do
community and
oh
whatsoever.
brana
Then you don't get anything, and this big star will get a chunk of money.
bamcho.
Yeah,
Machangor.
I'm a
Hey,
chunk.
but it's a very sensitive question you're asking right now.
Mm,
Sometime this year, Ashes to Ashes, we see a National Arts Festival.
mm,
Elena Esemakhand in Grahamstown.
mm,
Yeah, bo. So we were supposed to go there. Obviously, us in culture is
mm.
supposed to, but as
Yeah.
compensate for us to get there with the artist. Okay, okay. Long story short, we didn't. So now I had to, because it's my baby, right? It's my production.
Mm.
So we had to like seek Kangeli donations.
Yes.
Bruh, we were bakhona abantu ababethatha even like in onion.
Mm,
We're taking even that so this we can eat.
mm,
Having to walk 3 hours from where we're staying to where we're supposed to perform. Get there, you are shit tired,
mm,
but you have to put your A game. You know what I mean?
mm.
But having to win a standing ovation award on the
Wow.
first performance, now that was a payment enough
Yeah.
for us as my crew and all of
Yeah.
that. So going straight to your question of yeah, bruh, I think you must actually respect what you do.
Yeah.
I don't take that.
Yeah.
I respect what I do.
Yeah.
You know, I respect my craft. I
Yeah.
respect because at times when I get invited to Mandlovu in the band or be it to Mandlovu within this poetry and that,
Mm,
um, people need to understand that I've got people that I'm working with.
mm.
Applause are not gonna pay the
Yeah,
bills.
exactly.
Yeah, but they're not gonna put food on the table.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
applause, they're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
So I think it goes back to just respecting what you do,
Yeah.
and don't because we celebrate. Yeah, I respect you. We celebrate. Motlatsi, I get it.
Mm,
Nitivini, I get it.
mm.
But it doesn't dim my light. It doesn't make me
Yeah.
less of a performer. It doesn't
Yeah.
make me less of a person that deserves respect.
Yeah.
Dude, you gotta pay me.
Definitely. Definitely. Because one thing that I'm seeing now is that we need to have, like you say, need to have a brand management.
Anyway.
This is my brand, and my
Mm-mm,
brand is based on my craft.
mm-mm,
You don't respect my craft, you
mm-mm.
don't so let's stop it
Bye.
there. Bye.
Mm.
Let's stop it there. Because once the artist can, or mostly writers and poets, they can have that insinuation that we're gonna have a healthy day. But at the same time, these people, some of us or some of them, they take this thing because hey man, hey, I need to leave, man. I need to save people with my poems.
No,
But if
man.
that poem is not compensating you in this
No.
diaspora, in this dilemma, we need to
No.
stop doing that.
And yeah, not that we are shying away from
Yeah,
poetry sessions.
yeah,
Obviously, we're not going to be paid for poetry sessions.
yeah,
This was a bit only unbusy. Hey,
yeah,
Jove, listen, this don't happening
yeah.
here. It gets easier when it's another artist calling you. Because I know, Dubana, if maybe I've got something in Eastern Cape,
Yeah,
I'll call you. Mtlatsi, please come
you
down,
come
man.
through.
There's this
Yeah,
show. Don't. Then I come. It's not funded. It's
yeah,
mine. That we can have
yeah.
that's a healthy
That's a
conversation,
healthy
more
conversation.
from an artist to another artist.
Yeah.
But then corporate or company or government, they call
No,
me. They're like, I know we're gonna pay so and so. I know.
no, we need to stop. We
No,
need to
that's not
stop.
right.
We need to stop. And you highlighted that you are into now you are venturing into filmmaking.
Yes.
What stories do you want to document?
Okay.
If you're
So
not giving away your
my writing, you know what? I'm strengthening the muscle of art at large.
yeah.
Now having to have an eye of how to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
how to edit.
Mm.
So now it's gonna be easier for me to narrate my story. So
Yeah.
when I write it down, I'm gonna envision it when I want a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I'm just strengthening it so I could understand all technicalities on
Differences.
all sides of art at
Yeah.
large. Yeah, but hence I decided to go to school and study film and television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how is it so far?
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I
Yeah.
mean, for quite some time I've been like in front of the camera,
Mm.
but then now being behind the scenes
Mm.
and understanding the hard work of it was
Yes.
editing, guys. Is your editing is the pit.
Yeah.
Imagine having to shrink something that you have taken for like 10 say now 10 minutes. It has to be like 30 seconds,
Yes.
and you must keep the important and core information in that. Now that's a skill in its own.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
but so yeah, I'm learning, but I'm really enjoying it.
How long
Yeah,
have you been in the
I've
film?
recently started.
Wow.
Yeah, I've recently started.
Is it, okay.
Mm.
So where are you studying?
Um, it's in Gqeberha. It's
Yeah.
called the World. No, no, no. Oh wow, Media Works.
Media
Yo, I'm
works.
the worst.
Yeah.
I'm the worst
You're
one.
not the worst. Because you're focusing on the prize, man. Whatever that is there, but like, yeah, cool, man.
Yeah.
Give shout out to them, man. Because filmmaking is actually important because now we are our life are going. Most of our lives not much digital anymore.
Mm,
Wow.
mm, mm.
It's not like that. Now we are. What is this?
Yeah, well,
This is space, the
yeah, well.
virtual space.
Mm,
So yeah, and I'm glad that you're doing that because now, like you say, you envision it, so
mm.
it's easy for you to translate it to people.
True.
Because sometimes when you're with someone, like what, I have this idea and this is how I want it to go, and
Mm,
he does something or she does something else different. It
yeah.
does no longer match your vision. But
Mm.
with you being behind it, I can
Then
applaud
yeah.
you for that, for that,
Mm. Thank
for
you.
that, for that. Yeah. And is there any production that you're working on?
Currently, no, I'm still strengthening the writing side now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back. You get to disconnect from writing because of a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
I'm a parent, ne?
Yeah.
I've got two kids, so that is so tiring
Yeah.
on its own. It's a full time job.
Yeah.
Then at times you get like I go to school. Sometimes I have to go to radio. Sometimes I need to go get content. Maybe there's a gig we have to go to. All of those things.
Mm.
You hardly get time to go back and write,
Yeah.
get your inspiration and then write.
Yeah.
So I've been reading a lot lately because
Mhm.
I want to at least get some inspiration. I was even praying about it,
Mm.
that the spirit will blesses me with words
Mm.
and melodies
Mm.
that are going to heal me and other
First.
people. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. So there's no production per se right now.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just us being called Mandlovu in the band and me Mandlovu and then me
Mm.
writing just to get a couple of pieces. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like good. So you said Ashes to Ashes, you did the production of them, né?
yeah,
But I just saw a snippet on YouTube, so I couldn't really quite get the whole picture.
yeah.
So Ashes to Ashes is the production of what you have explained earlier,
Yes.
or is it something different?
Ashes to Ashes is, well, it's a spoken word
Yeah.
production. So it's a fusion of contemporary dance. There's live music. There is poetry, of course.
Yeah.
What else there is? Yeah, so it's three. So I'm working with Ukhasacha Wenqego. She's a poet as well.
Mhm.
I've got Usinokolo, who's a dancer. Recently I did Usipiwo Monde, Ilubedin, who's also a poet. Elder, I'm trying to remember all of them
Mm.
now. Elder Usipo Solomon, who's on keys. There's Ulupum Lobaji, who's on percussions. There's two guys, Ulutando, who's on keys.
Mm.
So I'm trying to shout out to everyone
Yeah,
who's in
definitely
the
give them
team.
the credit.
There's Ukacha does our makeup.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's quite a huge team.
Mm.
It's quite a huge team.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anna, you're doing a great work, man. I have
Thank
to
you.
give a big shout out to Kamata.
Again,
Refilwe.
tomato. Oh, you worked. Yeah.
What inspired it?
Yeah, a lot of things. Um, well, as I said, most obvious things
Yeah,
might not really be personified.
yeah,
It could be inspiration. It's basically people wanna waste your time.
yeah,
Yeah, it's Amachita. Amachita. They like to waste our time.
yeah,
Acting all cheesy, all lovey dovey, only
mm,
because they wanna get you into bed. That's
yeah.
what inspired the poem. It's like
Okay.
people who like to like because well, relationships are not only about the sexual dun side.
Yeah,
They take so much of you
exactly.
spiritually and mentally. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So now when someone comes in your space and guys, they distract your peace and the mental space you were in, and now you go away, all of that. No, so it's the realities of
Yeah.
relationships. That's what inspired the poem.
Yeah. I'm about to drop something. Yeah, gentlemen, you're gonna fight me, but it's a reality.
Yeah.
A weakness of a woman is an
Mm.
ear. A
Mm.
weakness of a man is an eye.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Okay.
man sees something, he start to picture it like, oh, money.
Yeah.
I like that. But a man, a woman's weakness is what she hears.
Siyaqhathwa ngesixhosa
Yeah,
Motlatsi.
wabona cut.
Mm-mm.
Wabona,
Mm-mm.
so that's
Mm-mm.
so that I don't know if you're using that advantage to ourselves.
I
That's
think
all.
so.
And I think I like you because
Mm-mm.
you said it's great things that I
Yeah.
wanted, the sweet nothings, if I were to
Yeah.
say.
And you're not shying away from the fact that
Yeah,
what I am listening to is actually, it's moving me,
yeah,
but it's not worth
yeah,
me going to Ubana, yo, I must forget him now because he's gone. And
yeah,
my
yeah.
all of that. So yeah, no.
All right. Now, as we wrap up, I need to shout out Aising Mulutsi, who's my partner, who's a part of the podcast as well.
Yeah.
So he couldn't make it today, but he'll surely be doing other things. And I need to give a special shout out to HB Zwino from Chikupu Online Radio, the
Buvenda.
man, the Mubenda. Hey, the only Zwino man in town, the one behind the lens. And I want to also send a special shout out to who?
Tunandi.
Oh, yeah, Tano, don't forget. And one more time, yeah, I'm grateful for
Yeah.
this conversation.
Thank you so
And what
much,
are you
man.
working on, and how can people get a hold of you?
So otherwise, thank you so much, guys,
Yeah,
for taking your time to come here
yeah,
and seeing my content feed
yeah,
to feed in plugged souls. It's
yeah,
been a beautiful experience,
yeah,
having to engage with you guys. Shout out to Kamata
yeah.
for
Shout out to
linking me up
Kamat.
with
Yeah,
you guys. I believe and I hope that there's gonna be more coming. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Be
definitely.
it we work on different projects and all of that,
Yeah,
but I believe God does things for a purpose.
yeah,
So I'm really grateful. For now, there's not really any specific production I'm working on. Ashes is still there. Still working on my music, obviously. So if maybe you want Mandlovu in the band, you can get me good TikTok. It's Suthu Mandlovu. If maybe you want to experience more of what I do, you can go also to YouTube. It's Nobe Suthu Mandlovu. Or on Facebook if you have Nobe Suthu Mandlovu. That's where my page is. Yeah. Otherwise, if you want to book me for poetry, or if maybe you want to book me for music,
mm.
I'm your girl.
Ah,
Hi, Bona.
there's your girl, man. This is our second episode, Plugged Souls podcast with Suthu Mandlovu. It
Yebo.
has been an honor and a
Thank you so
pleasure.
much.
I've learned a lot, and I'm gonna
Thank you.
take home with me, and I hope it reaches out
Yeah.
the necessary people that need to take this
Yeah.
message with.
Yeah.
By that, Plugged Souls podcast, where innate meets intangibles.
That's what's
Motlatsi
up.
Motseki, live a legend, signing out.
Suthu Mandlovu. That's your call. Indwana and Ngai. Yanko.
Lolo.